Okay, let me see. Let's see if we're still here. We have 22 people on now.
There it goes. Everybody's coming back in.
Okay, good.
Sorry about that, guys.
We had some technical difficulties, but we're back.
Technical difficulties.
We're back.
You can't ever tell what's going to happen when you do it live, right?
That's for sure. Okay, let me share my screen again. Get back over here to my, I think right here is where I am. Okay. Let me know if you see a picture, the pictures of the house. Okay. Curdy says, I thought you could buy sitting at your house. Yes, you can. Okay. And there are several different ways you can do this. Okay. If you have to, when you go out to inspect the property, I mean, you don't have to do it, right? I don't have to do it. I don't have to do it.
He doesn't do it. I do it.
Candace does it.
So there's different ways you could get people to go out and take the pictures for you. Some people that we know in our masterminds are having sellers take the pictures for them and send them to them, right?
There's several different ways you could get the seller to do that, to take the pictures. You can number one, just ask them to take pictures and give them instructions. Like, I want a picture of every room, any repair areas, all mechanical items, all four sides of the house, a street view both ways, and all that stuff. If they're not technologically savvy, as a lot of your sellers are going to be,
Thanks, Audrey.
Maybe, let's see, maybe in their 60s, 70s, something like that.
80s.
Maybe. Sometimes, yeah. So let's see here. So what you do is you can do one of two things, okay? You can Zoom them, like we have a Zoom account, right? You can Zoom them and have them just walk through the house, right? Say, oh, what was that on the ceiling? Oh, give me a little closer to that, right? You just do it with your phone, right? And all they have to do is click on the link. Have a special link, like, like Audrey, say, have a special link that says zoomwithaudrey.com, right? And then, you just
get them to take you around the house.
Right, get them to take you around the house. If they don't even know how to do that, here's what you do. You show up at their door with a mask and gloves, right? And have an iPad or have a phone and have the camera part open. So all they have to do is push the little button to take a picture, and then have some of those sanitary wipe thingies, whatever you call them, sanitation things, or what do you call them? The alcohol things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have them, wipe down the iPad and then hand it to them and say, walk through here and take some pictures, right? So make sure that they're, there's a way to do it, right? You don't have to stop doing deals. I mean, we got, how many deals are in our pipeline? 28 or 29 right now?
Something like that.
But you don't have to.
Yeah, well.
That's funny. That's funny. Okay, so, here's just all the pictures. Candace gets pictures of every single thing, right? So this is a deal that we're paying. How much are we paying for this house, Candace?
I don't know. I can't keep them all in my head.
I think we're paying.
We're paying the payoff, so I think it's right around
30,000 cash right here, right? 30,000 cash, right? And he's already moved out. Here's Candace's after inspection notes, by the way, right? She goes and takes notes when she inspects it. This was before the clean out.
Yeah.
We have paid $325 or whatever it was. We also have a Google Drive link right here that links to all the pictures and the contract and all that good stuff. Here's the notes, all of our conversation history. So we're marketing this property for, how much are we marketing this property for?
$44,900.
$44,900?
Mm-hmm.
and it's a brick house with a basement, you know. Comps are probably, 70-ish, something like that. And it's in small town USA, Forest City. So that's that deal, right? So let's go back and see. Let's take a look at another one. Because we have what, 3 closings today or this week?
We have 3 closings set up for tomorrow. So Ron's asking what type of buyer buys these houses. It depends on what they want to do with it. We sometimes get people that want some sweat equity, like a house like this. We could have an owner occupant go in and make it their own, live there because it's completely livable while they do the updates. The guy just moved out. So we could have somebody like that. We could have a landlord that goes in and does some minimal repairs, maybe $5,000 worth of work just to clean it up a little bit, do a little bit of work on that bathroom and rent it out. The area, I'm not sure what the area calls for there. I think it's like 800 or something. It's a 2-1, so it'd probably be maybe 750, something like that for that area. But it kind of depends. We don't try to have a preconceived buyer for any of our houses.
That's true.
We don't want to discount anybody that could have an idea that we don't have about a particular house. We don't know what their portfolios look like, so we don't want to count anybody out for any of our properties.
You know what? We market every property to everybody. Yes, there's some properties that are better fix and flips, some that are better rental properties, and some that are better for an owner occupant that just wants some sweat equity, right? But we market all of our properties very hard and are always building our buyers list. We never know who's going to buy a property. We do market it to our existing buyers list, but we never, ever know who's going to buy a property. And we don't really care. We don't really care.
It doesn't matter.
We'll show you one in a few minutes that while I went with Candace on this inspection, while we were there, our buyer pulls up. We didn't know it was going to be our buyer, but it's our buyer, and we're closing the 1st, I believe.
Of May, yeah.
May 1st.
Next Friday.
Yeah, next Friday. So anyway, you just never know. You just never know. So I want to answer a couple of these questions. What about if you're out of state, no access? You find a local boots on the ground. That's not an issue at all. You just find a local boots on the ground. Guys, all we're really doing here is working my real estate day trading mastery program. That's it. That's all.
Somebody had asked earlier if it was a Filthy Riches model or if this was the HUD Homes model, and it's neither. This is a wholesale model. We're not holding on to anything that we get in. Right, Larry has been saying this for like the last year. Stash cash for the crash, and we're in an opportunity
and
now.
It's coming.
Where we're in an opportunity now where we're still selling everything that we get in to have that cash because we're in that downward turn now. This COVID crisis has kind of forced it a little bit, I think, before the market was going to naturally reset. But we're definitely in that cycle now to where you'll be able to use that money for a little bit higher priced or what would have previously been a higher priced house for the same prices that we're getting deals now, just because people are getting desperate.
Right.
And you don't want to take advantage of that. But when you can help a seller out in a situation that they need to get out of, by all means, I think we have an obligation as investors to do that.
That's true. That is true. So you don't have to do this locally. Many of our students are doing it long distance from one side of the country to another, even from being out of the country or while they're traveling or on vacation or in their RV or whatever. Many of them are doing this. I want to jump in a couple of questions before we move on. Out of state, what type of buyer? We talked about that. How do we get our leads? We have multiple ways to get our leads. In fact, in the Real Estate Day Trading Mastery Program, there's like 76 different ways to get leads. But the vast majority of them are direct mail, SMS, and RVM and cold calling. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's the vast majority, was probably the majority of it on direct mail.
Right.
Okay? We used to mail out 25,000 a month. And then we would repeat that every single 4 weeks, right? We would take 25,000, divide that into 4 equal mailings. It was about 6,250 mailings per week, right? But then what we started doing when this whole Corona thing started, I said, I want to reach more people, but I don't want to spend more money. So here's what we did.
And I wanted to hit them at different times of the month.
Yeah, Candace wanted to hit them at different times because we were hitting the same people in the same week of the month, right? So what we did was we added another 12,500 to our list, and now we have 37,500, and that will spread out 6,250 over 6 weeks instead of 4. So now we mail 6 weeks, and then we start over again. So the person in week 1 that got mailed in week 1, now they're going to be in week 3 of the following month.
Yep.
Right? So we're mailing half again as many, but
spending the same amount per week.
We're mailing them every 6 weeks instead of every 4 weeks. Okay. So we've actually beefed up our marketing without spending any more money. Let's see here. Do you recommend an IT wizard to set up our Podio? We are on our 3rd Podio system. Okay.
Custom built Podio system. Podio comes and it's a blank canvas. You can do whatever you want to with it. And this is our 3rd version of Podio. And this is the best by far that we've had.
It is, and it's all geared toward dealing directly to seller. Our other 2 Podios were primarily for HUD and MLS type deals. But when the market changed and it's a seller's market, you've got to go after direct to seller instead of HUD and MLS, right? Yep. Now the market's starting to turn, and it's going to turn, and you're going to be able to get more HUD deals again, more MLS deals. But right now, you've got to go after direct to seller. Okay. I would suggest, unless you have, $5,000 to spend on a Podio system or more, I would suggest you get an out of the box system like REI Black Book or RealFlow or Freedom Soft or something like that. Okay. What do you do to make sure that home passes safety inspection? Nada.
We don't do those.
We don't do a home inspection, a safety, which a home inspection is, it's for safety purposes. That's the whole premise behind that. But we don't do anything. We just inspect for what we see, and we take pictures of everything of what we see, and we buy them as is, and we sell them as is. So it's really not an issue. Hasn't been an issue. Do you have to have a license to be a landlord? No. You may have to have a business license in your particular city or town or county, but as far as any kind of a property management or there being a landlord license, no. And you don't have to be a realtor either. Is this market what if one cannot sell the property? If you can't sell the property, the worst case scenario, when you use my 1-page offer to purchase that I developed over the years, it's 1 page, 1 simple page. When you use that, all you're going to lose, if anything, is $100 if you don't close on the deal.
That's our deposit amount.
That's the deposit.
Well, not the deposit, the earnest money amount.
Earnest money deposit, right?
Yeah.
Larry, how to take advantage of current market? I live in a very expensive state. I have some cash available for investing. Go to investorsrehab.com and buy a house. Just kidding. No, not really.
Well, you can buy houses from us. Our deal, I know that we sell deeply discounted properties and that they're good deals for our investors. That's why we have multiple repeat buyers of our properties, and why some of them don't even get marketed, because we've got that short list, and they get first dibs. So, yeah.
But, if you live in a very expensive market, Kevin, I would suggest, looking in other areas in the, in the South or Southeast or in the Northeast, certain areas. In the Northeast, you could go to, or Midwest, you could go to Indiana, Illinois, Pennsylvania, just some of those areas. In the South, you could go Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas.
Mississippi, we have people investing in.
Mississippi, Arkansas. I was working with a partner program student the other day, and we were picking his market, and we ended up going with Arkansas. And what we like to do is go into the MSA, and then we back out a couple of counties. We're in the Charlotte MSA right now, but we don't market in the Charlotte MSA. we market out about 2 counties, right? Was it Northwest Arkansas? Well, Arkansas is not in the Northeast, but if you're going in the Northeast, like Ohio or
I think they're
Pennsylvania,
talking about the northeast part of Arkansas.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't get caught up in paralysis of analysis. I look for median price houses around 150 to 70, 80, 90, somewhere like that. And a lot of old inventory. In other words, I want to buy them in areas where you can find a house that was built in the 1900s, early 1900s. That means you've got a lot of inventory of properties that need fixing up. You're not going to find a ton of properties that need fixing up in Las Vegas or Orlando or Denver, Colorado,
or
Phoenix. You're just not going to find that, right? So I hope that answered your question. What source do you use for creating direct mail? I wish I had time to go into that.
A lot of this stuff is explained, like he was talking about earlier. I want to get back to the podium and show you guys how we're actively doing the deals that we're doing and the methods that we've used for all of that. A lot of the questions that you guys are asking, hey, we're not able to go into a lot more detail with them, but we want to be respectful of your time and ours too, because we've got to get back on the phone to buy more properties.
And we want to make sure we cover all this stuff and give you as much as we can.
And I think we're on like the 4th property. So
out of 28.
Everything is covered. You can give call. I mean, I'm not trying to really pitch anything, but it's all covered. It's the wholesale model. It's our real estate day trading model.
Those of you that have the real estate day trading mastery, it's in there. And there's a lot of people on here that already have that.
Yeah.
It's all in there. All of our paperwork, whether it be a script or a contract or a memorandum or anything that we use, it's all in there. And that's our model. It's what we do. So this is one Sue Rippey. This is a property over on Main Street in Lawndale. We're buying a duplex and 2 extra, is it 1 or 2 extra?
Lots.
2 extra lots and a bank building for, guess what? $35,000. Isn't that right?
Yep.
$35,000. Yep. 35 right there. So we're buying all 3 of those properties, but right now we're kind of stuck in on hold with this one because we're waiting on the seller to get us a trust document.
Well, a few documents now.
A few documents now? Okay. So we're kind of waiting on that.
It's like 2 trusts and a will now.
Yeah. So, I mean, who's going to buy a bank building, a duplex, and 2 extra lots? I have no idea, right? It could be somebody that wants to fix up the bank building and put some kind of a retail store or something in there. Our seller used to have a flower shop in it. It could be anybody. It could be a landlord. Maybe they want to use the bank building for their own office. Who knows, right? Do I suggest selling on eBay now? Not wholesaling, I don't, right? Not wholesaling. But if you're going to do seller financing, you can still do that. Okay, let's look at this other one. Here's one right here. This property is up in
Mill Spring. It's up near Lake Lure.
Which is, up near Lake Lure in Rutherford County. And this is a property that's on what, like 4 acres or something?
4 acres or so, yeah.
It's got 4 acres. I mean, this house it's going to be ideal for somebody that may want to do a rental, maybe bring in another mobile home or a tiny house or something like that, because Lake Lure is a destination spot.
Yeah.
Right? I don't even know if there's a street view picture of this or not. There may or may not know.
It's probably not because it sits way back off the road. It's a private 4 acres. And I went out, I did the eval on this property, and there's actually previous to the current seller that's sitting on this lot or on one of these this parcel here, there were 2 other mobile homes that sat on either side of the house that she lives in now. So they were there before. The pad for the one is still there. The other one was just on the ground. But water and power and sewer and all of that is connected for actually 3 spots right now on the 4 acres.
And we're buying this. Is that what is our price on this one? It says the least she's willing to take is 35, but I think we're paying 25. Yep, we're paying 25. So we're paying 25 for this. It's 4 acres and a house and a couple of other pads and some what do you call them? Power things and like to put a mobile home, right? A power pole, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is day trading wholesaling? Yes, that's exactly what it is. You buy it and sell it the same day. How are you doing it in one day? The buy and sell also looks like several of the houses would work for Filthy Riches. Yes, just about all of our properties are very, very cheap properties. We're buying them for $5, $10, $15, $20, $30,000. That's our typical deal. And right now we're wholesaling them and we're earning an average of 10, 15, sometimes 20 or $30,000 on each deal.
And as far as buying and selling on the same day, we just line up the closings at the same time. We get it under contract, we start our marketing, we line up a buyer, and we have our closing on the same day as the buy closing.
Good. So we always use our attorney. Our contract specifically states, to use buyer's attorney.
Yep.
Right. If you notice on this one, Marcia had put a note up here, from Michael that said Michael is our acquisition guy. He does our sets. He tees them up for me, and then I close them over the phone. Right. This lady's on hold because she's an owner-occupant buyer or seller, and so she's on hold because she's moving to Florida and she can't get into Florida. She said they got the borders shut off. I told her I would smuggle her down in my trunk. But that didn't go over too well. So she needs a little bit of moving money. So we're going to work all that out and get her some moving money, right? We don't want to close on it because I would a lot rather give her $1,000 or a few thousand or whatever. I think she's wanting $5,000 in moving money. We already have a memorandum filed on this property, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have a memorandum filed on it so they can't sell the property out from under us, okay? So we could give her $5,000 as opposed to giving her all her money and closing on the deal and her still being there. Now, it's very rare, but occasionally we would close on a deal when a seller's still there and maybe moving out in the next few days. But we always, always, always hold back on some of their money, 10% or 20% of their money, so they don't get everything until they've vacated the property.
Right.
Okay? So what's the difference between small town profits and real estate day trading mastery? Small town profits is specifically about small towns. Real estate day trading mastery is everything, and you can do it anywhere, including small towns.
Yep.
Okay, let's see here. Let's get back to deal pipeline and look at a few more deals. What are we asking for the Mill Spring house?
Check out investorsrehab.com.
I don't think it's on there yet because we're
that's
not
right,
marketing it yet.
we don't have it marketed right now.
Let's see here. What's next?
Inglewood.
This
is a property I haven't been able to. So this is kind of a property that's fallen into the COVID black hole. Not really black hole because I'm still in touch with the seller, but she doesn't have means of transportation. She's staying with family in Charleston right now. She can't get back home to Florence, and I haven't been out to do an eval of this property yet because she has no way to get me into it. So I'm waiting on her to either decide, and I've not pressed her, but asked her to mail me a key or leave a key if she could send it with a neighbor, if she's more comfortable with that. Send it up to us so I could at least go out and go ahead and get the eval completed and get us on our way to getting her money. That's very important. You want to keep the sellers concentrated on moving things forward because the quicker you can move through, the quicker they can get their money.
Right. Do we always file a memorandum? Yes, we're supposed to always file a memorandum. Does a memorandum expire? No, they do not expire. I would imagine you could probably put an expiration date on it, but we do not. It prevents sellers from going around you and selling the property out from under you, because occasionally you will get sellers that say, oh, I decided I'm not going to sell my property. And then when you let them know that, hey, well, I just want to let you know, when we buy a property, it's our standard policy to record a memorandum so that way nobody else can come in and try to, get between you and I, because you and I have an agreement that we both signed. Mm-hmm. And some of them are like, oh, really? Oh, all right, well, go ahead. So it saved us. I know of one time in the last little while that it saved us where we had a seller that, I'm really not selling. I'm not selling. I said, okay, well, if you do decide to, you let us know. And about 3 months, well, wasn't even that long.
No, it was like a month and a half.
Like a month and a half later, she came back and said, I'm going to go ahead and sell you my property, because she realized she couldn't sell it to somebody else. Right.
Yeah.
So
now, there's a question over there about holding costs when we put a property under contract. Holding costs could encompass a couple different things. You've got business operating costs, like if you have a boots on the ground person that you're paying to go out and look at each property for you. I mean, that could be a cost that's associated when you get a property under contract. Your sign costs for the signs you put out to sell that property, or anything like that could all fall under holding costs if you wanted to classify it as that. The only other thing I would say is sometimes when you structure a deal, we have a seller right now who had moved into an apartment. He can't handle both his mortgage payment. We're buying his house for the payoff. He can't handle the mortgage payment and his new rent. So instead of us having to double close or close on that property and take it in inventory, we worked out with him where we'll make his mortgage payment until we're able to get the property closed.
Which basically means we'll make your payment until we get it sold.
Right.
But we don't tell him that.
No.
Right.
But so that could be considered a holding cost if you wanted to. I mean, it will be ultimately taken out of the profit of the deal as a house cost, before any commissions are paid. So if you wanted to look at that as a holding cost, that would be the closest thing to it. But you've got a couple different things that could be thrown into holding costs if you wanted to, if you were really analyzing it, like our accountant does.
Which is her mom.
She counts everything toward, if anything is mailed, like overnight mailed or priority mailed, she counts the cost it is to put out the signs. She counts anything and everything that has cost us money with that property gets allocated to that property in our accounting system. And then those house costs come off before the net's that calculates the net before we pay commissions.
I don't know what property this is, Joseph.
This is Beach Road.
Yes.
You're not going to be able to see it from.
Oh, okay.
It's
way off.
way back off the road. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is a property that we're picking up for
50.
50.
This is the one that was on my list.
Oh, okay. It's almost 3 acres. It has a pond. 3 acres with a pond, and I don't know. Are we even marketing this one yet?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We have a flyer on it. Robin, it's not that we don't recommend buying HUD houses right now. It's just that for our states, when we're looking at the states that we buy in, there hasn't been a lot of inventory with HUD leading up to this point. And the properties that are on there, the margins or the spreads were getting so thin, it wasn't leaving us enough room to put our end buyer in a good situation. We like a win-win-win, right? For the seller, for us, and for our end buyer. And so they weren't leaving enough room.
Right. This also, I mean, there's just not enough deals on HUD right now.
Yeah.
There's any given time in North Carolina, there's probably 20 some or 30 some, and the same in South Carolina. I remember when there was 150 or 200, and we were making offers on 150, 200 houses every single day. Mm-hmm. There's not that many of them, right? So it's not that we recommend not buying HUD houses. It's just you're not going to get a lot of traction. You might get, if you're trying to buy them like we used to at 20, 30, 40, 50% of the asking price, you might get one every few months if you bid on them all every day in the entire state, right? So now's not the right time to be bidding on HUD houses as your only model, as your only source. There will be another time, but it's not right now. Do we have special software to track our properties? Yeah, it's Podio. That's kind of what we've been going through. Let's see. Would you expect HUD opportunities to come back? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, HUD opportunities are going to come back. This is the house, the 3 acres with the pond, right? This is, it's not a bad looking little house, right? And it has a pond, and it also has a huge workshop behind the house. We go through all of these deals. After Candace goes out and does her evaluation, we come in and we have a property meeting or what we call a huddle on each property. We huddle around on each property and we look at it and we pull comps, we drive the street, we check out the property, we look at all the pictures, we determine Is this going to be a good fix and flip? Is it a good rental? Is it a good owner-occupied property for a cash buyer to build some sweat equity? Or what type of, I mean, in other words, how are we going to sell this property, right? How are we going to sell it? How are we going to market it, right? Yeah, look, see, somebody, William, I guess that's William, WM, wrote Beach Road was on. Yeah, it was listed for $100,000. And we picked it up for 50. It was listed on the MLS for $100,000, and I got them to accept, $50,000.
And you guys see here that we're only asking $59,900 for this one, and depending on what you want to do with it, again, I mean, somebody could go in and spend more than $25,000 if they wanted to, completely rehabbing the whole thing. That's not necessary, right. But it's all about a preference, which is why we give such a wide range on the amount of repairs needed.
Now, just so you guys know, I did not go on the MLS looking for this deal, no. And then ended up making an offer through the realtor. The seller contacted us through some of our marketing directly. And whenever I was on the phone with him, I told him, I looked it up and I saw it was listed for 100. And I said, look, I can't get you anywhere near 100. I'm going to be about half of that. Right? And went back and forth and back and forth. And finally I said, look, I really need to be, and this is kind of my strategy. I say, I need to be here, but if you're ready to move forward today, I can do this. Right? So I really need to be somewhere in the mid to high 40s, something like that. But, if you're ready to move forward right now, I probably shouldn't do this, but you sound like a really nice guy. I really want to help you out. I'll go ahead and do 50 today. Let me ask you a question. What's your email address? And I'll get their email address, and then I'll say, I have a simple, standard, one-page real estate offer to purchase that it's in your real estate day trading mastery. I have a simple, standard, one-page offer to purchase. It basically says I'm buying your property as is, where is for cash, and I'm paying all your closing costs, right? And I'm going to have Candace send that out to you. Marcia sends it out, but it comes from Candace. The account's in her name, but she also goes out and looks at the property, so it kind of gets them introduced to Candace. So Candace is going to send that out to you, and as soon as we get notification that you've signed that digitally, it's kind of like DocuSign. All you got to do is click around a couple places, type in your name, and it's done. As soon as we get that back, then we'll schedule a time for Candace to come out and take a look at your property and get all the pictures, and we'll move forward and get you your money as soon as possible, right? Which, by the way, our contracts give us 90 days. 90 days. It's a 60-day contract with an automatic 30-day extension if we need it. Our contracts do not have a closing date.
Nope.
They say we will close sometime within 60 days. It doesn't have a closing date on it. Nobody ever complains about that. I would
very
think we'd
rarely.
Get a lot of pushback. Yeah, it is very rare. Occasionally, I shouldn't say nobody. Occasionally somebody says that, and I explain it this way. I say, look, instead of us having to, what were we talking about? I was reading this at the same time. What happened to the realtor on this? He canceled the listing. That's all. It's probably still on the MLS, but he canceled the listing. So what I say is, instead of us having to put a specific closing date, and then what if something happens like there's title issues or something comes up that you can't get all your stuff out, or you have an error, somebody that needs to sign or whatever. I don't want to have to come back to you and get another document signed. So we're going to close it as soon as we can. I just need to make sure I got plenty of time so you and I aren't chasing each other around to get paperwork updated in the event that we can't close during that time. Okay? So that's the reason for that, right? Let's see here. Sharon, what's Sharon say? It appears this presentation is designed for your current students who just need pointers on how to function in this specific economic climate. Do you have a class for someone who is looking for a business opportunity? Well, yeah, it's the real estate day trading mastery. That's
it's
exactly,
a course. It's a home study course.
Not everybody on here has that course, but I'm sure there's a lot of people on here that do. But that's our course that teaches what we do. And it is, just to answer your question, Sharon, it is designed whether you're brand new and could barely spell real estate, or whether you're already full-time in the real estate business. It's got something for everybody, and it starts out step by step. There's even a step-by-step action plan to get you going step by step, whether you're looking to scale or whether you're just looking to get started and get your very first deal, right? So
what's the next deal?
Let's go back to the next deal. We got a lot of deals to cover here.
I'm trying to think of one that would be like a different situation, like an odd something or another that was
New Line.
New Line is a shell of a property.
Now, this is a house right here. This is a property. I'm going to show you guys this property, okay? This is a property here that I negotiated for $10,000 cash. And after Candace
and what's so funny is you guys see this on the screen right now, the overhead lay,
right
or what is this called, this view right
map.
here, the map view. So this house right to the left of it on the corner there, we bought and sold that house last year. And then now this one has come up right behind it.
We bought this one on the corner for $2,000.
With a tenant in it.
And wholesaled it for, I think, 12 or 15. So anyway, let me close this. So let's go back over here and see if we can find, I don't know if it's going to show up on Bing or not.
This is a shell of a house. The seller had started doing a rehab on it. And
this is the house we're buying for $10,000.
Yeah, the seller had started doing a rehab on it, and then just kind of got sidetracked with other properties. He's an investor himself. He doesn't live in the area, so this one kind of fell to the backside, and he got our postcard and called us up. It's not close to where he lives. He's not sure when he can get back to it. So he had already started doing some of the work, but on the inside, it's still down mostly to the framework, some new flooring, but not really. This is not the most current picture of this.
This is the street view on Bing.
But from when? Because it's not. That's from, well, it says 2020, but I don't think that's what it looks like right now.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. So I want to show you a little bit about this one. This deal right here, I don't think I probably did it here. Let me go back to the deal pipeline. Now, look at this deal. I had this deal under contract for $10,000 cash. In our notes, we have over here, after our huddle, we said, look, this house, you know, it's in kind of a rough area, and we really need to be selling this property for, we probably need to be selling it for $15,000 or $20,000, right? 15 maybe,
yeah,
for cash. So I went back to negotiate this deal, to renegotiate this deal for $5,000 cash, or while I was on the phone with him, I said, would you be interested in seller financing? So look, right here's my notes from this call. I got him to take $10,000 with seller financing, financed over 36 months, 4% interest, a payment of $295 a month. No money down, right? So all we're really going to do is find somebody that will pay us, hopefully, $19,900 and put $10,000 down with owner financing. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to sell it to somebody that can get into this property really light, $5,000 or $10,000, preferably 10, of course. But now we've got owner financing in place at 4% interest, and they'll have it paid for in 36 months. I got a feeling this house is going to sell like that. You find somebody that has $10,000 and they're a handyman, and they're going to jump all over this deal, right? Because they could say, I'll own it free and clear in 3 years, and all I got to do is put down $10,000 and fix it up, of course, right? So Roy says, are we selling them to owner occupants? Yes, yes, and yes. We're selling them to anybody and everybody. We market to everybody, right? And we're always building our buyers list and adding them to our email marketing list and our text broadcast marketing list, right? So this was a sweet little deal right here that I went back in and renegotiated with owner financing.
Now, does that mean since we've set up the seller financing, if we have somebody that comes in and would pay or is okay to pay the 19.9 in cash just like that, would we take it? Of course we would.
Yeah.
We don't have to hold true to the seller finance contract. The seller would be fine being paid off just like he was going to in 36 months. He doesn't care one way or the other, but this was the way we needed to structure the deal because we couldn't get it any lower knowing what we needed to sell it for.
Right. Um, Russell, this one,
This one's
108.
on hold because I can't get in.
Oh, this is a property that is it tenant occupied?
Is tenant occupied. The tenant is a truck driver, and he has been working a lot more with the crisis. Honestly, just trying to get supplies for the company he works for. So he hasn't been available for me to do a eval.
Okay. Where am I?
You're at Hayden. Greenwood. We didn't do Reepsville. You could do Reepsville or Hayden. We didn't
Let's
do
do
Reepsville.
let's do this one. This is one we recently renegotiated, right? This is and some of you guys are going to think, why in the world are you wanting to buy these properties, right? This is a house right here that we had it under contract for, I can't remember how much. Now this is an old general store that used to be in the area, right?
It was the first one in the area.
This is the first general store. The guy's got the rebel flags flying, doesn't he? That we're buying this mobile home, right? This mobile home and this general store all on one lot. Our seller's brother lives here and just sold this house for how much?
I'm not sure.
Wasn't it over 100,000?
I believe it was. I mean, it was a good
like
amount.
160 or something like that.
He just sold and he's moving out.
But look at this. I mean, this
and all this stuff was still there when I did the eval.
Exactly. and I guarantee you it's going to be there too. I guarantee you he's not moving hardly any of this stuff out. But we got a guy that'll go over here and clean all this stuff out. And if there's enough stuff there he can sell and make money, he'll do it for free. In fact, he'll even pay us to take some of the stuff, right? So anyway, this is a deal. We had it under contract for, let's see.
I don't know if the original amount's in here or not.
I don't know. Oh, I'm under properties. Oh, it'll be under offer amount.
He wanted, if you guys saw that originally, he wanted 30.
I had it under contract for 18,000. This was our offer.
So the seller originally wanted 30. Larry got it under contract for property not only counting the
tax
trailer.
value 30.
25 was the least amount he was going to take to walk away from it, but we got it under for 18.
You see the notes right here?
And then we had to renegotiate it after I went out.
So let's see what we got it under contract now. I mean, I know how much we got it under contract now, but look, purchase price, $10,000. So we're buying this property for $10,000. We're probably going to market it, I'm guessing, $24,900. Is that what we're going to market it for? So we're going to market this property for $24,900, and we're just going to sell it, and hopefully make $10,000 or $15,000 on this deal. I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, "Wow, I thought we were going to talk about fix and flip houses, $200,000 houses in neighborhoods and all that." But let me tell you something: you can make money on every kind of deal, right? There's a buyer for every house at the right price or the right terms.
Right.
Okay. So don't let, if it's a single wide mobile home, I don't care if it's a single wide mobile home on a lot in a park. I made an offer on one of those yesterday, right? And the guy accepted it, and then I told him it'd be a little while before we close, and he's like, "Well, let me think about it." But he was asking $25,000 for a mobile home, a double wide, bringing in $775 per month. And then he was asking 25, and I got him down to $9,500, right?
And a book.
And a book. He wanted a book.
He wanted a book.
Oh, a book and a course. He wanted the book and the course. Okay, so let's go back to this.
Are your buyers negotiating your great prices?
Well, sometimes it depends. If if Lorraine sells all of our properties,
Mhm.
okay? She's very good at it. And if the property's been marketed for 2 or 3 weeks and not really getting much headway, then maybe we'll send out a 24-hour or
Flash
48-hour flash sale. That's
Flash
what we
sale's
call
the
it.
term, yeah. So
Yeah.
sometimes we'll send out a flash sale. Typically, I mean, and that's one thing I would say that's really important is finding whoever's going to sell your properties, believing in the deals enough and understanding the value of the deal as a whole to where they don't feel like they have to reduce the price. We set the price in our meeting. We all agree on it, and that's what we run with. And that's what she knows. That's all she knows, and she believes in us. She believes in the way that we've priced them. And unless something comes back that we aren't aware of with my evaluation or something like that, then there's no reason for her to have to accept any kind of negotiated price from our buyer. She knows, and she 100% believes that we're putting good properties out at good quality prices.
Okay, I don't know anything about this deal. 121 Hayden in Spindale. Do you know anything about it? Where it says we're waiting on title.
Mm-hmm.
Need to market for 31,250. And may
See,
have to
and
take
when we know that we put stuff like that in there, when we know we might have to take a little bit less, so that gives her an idea of a little bit of wiggle room if she needs it. But we know what we're going to take as a minimum and not reduce any more for.
Right. So I'm not really sure how much are we paying for this. $23,000. We're paying $23,000 for this house. $23,000 for this. Got a metal roof.
Oh, this is the one with the tiny house in the back.
Oh, it's got 2 houses.
Yeah, it's got a tiny house in the back. You can't really see, but it's back there.
Yeah, it's right there.
And it's had a new roof. This is 2013, so it doesn't look like this right now. It's got a new roof put on it, and some other things have been done to the property as well. We're still waiting on title, so we haven't marketed this yet.
Does it have tenants in it?
It does have a tenant in it.
And I believe both of them have tenants in them, right? And there's a lot of people out there that want to buy little properties like this, right?
Where the tenants are solid, they pay every month. Most of the time, they pay in cash. So it's
Here's the good news about buying houses from individuals that are tired landlords. Most of them never, ever, ever, ever raise their rents if they have a good paying tenant, right? I've talked to, just yesterday I was talking to one, the rents were like $350. They could have been $900. But, well, they pay on time. I really like them. We get along really well, and that sort of thing. So they just never raise the rents, right? So the reason I'm pointing this out is you buy based on current rents, and then you could sell based on potential rents if a person's going to really get in there and work the property, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if they raise it 5% per year or 10% per year, nobody's going to move out for 5 or 10% per year, right? It's just, if they do, it's a rare case. Okay.
The tenant that's in this house right here on Hayden Street, she's been there for almost a year, and she's remodeling the house. She's doing the rehab on the house while she's living there. Now, she's not doing it in exchange for no rent. She's still paying rent, but she's just taken the initiative, and she has asked the seller, different things. She's like, can I do this? And obviously he's getting a better house. So even if she leaves, his house is going to be in better shape than it was when she moved in, just because she's taken the initiative and she's fixing things up. And she's actually has the skill level, the carpentry skill level to do things like that. So, you run into situations like that as well. She put that little foyer thing in. She's done sheetrock work on this house as well. She's done some other flooring repair. She is working on the bathroom. I think is her biggest project right now is working on some drywall issues in the bathroom. And then she's also going to build up a half wall in the bathroom so that there's a shower instead of a tub only option.
I hope you guys get the point that not every house that you're going to flip is a really nice looking house in a really nice area, you know, and doesn't need much work or just paint and carpet. I mean, our best deals are some of these deals that are cheap, need work. Like, see, she put down this flooring right here.
But she's getting a wider vanity to go across the flooring that wasn't replaced. See, she's doing sheetrock right there. And this is where she's going to build the half wall up because the previous tenant just had that thing hooked to the wall.
Yeah. So anyway, you get some ideas on this, and we're paying $23 for 2 rental properties. You know, we'll probably sell it for $39.9, I'm guessing. Something like that. I'm guessing, right? My initial offer was $20.
He didn't take that though.
They wouldn't take that, and we got it for $23. Right?
Sandra, I'm not sure if you heard us talking earlier. They are in small cities or somewhere around small cities. This is actually within walking distance to a downtown area of Spindale. So they are close to cities, but we don't buy in major metropolitan statistical areas. We just don't buy. There's a lot more competition. The spreads are a lot thinner. It takes them longer to sell. Multitude of reasons why we don't buy in MSAs in large cities like Charlotte, like the heart of Atlanta, you know, different things like that. They are in small, sleepy town cities, right, of those metropolitan areas.
There you go. Here's Isaac Johnson. I think you're scheduled to go out and do the
Tuesday.
Evaluation on this one.
Yeah, on
this
Tuesday.
Is a little house. We're paying $25,000 for it. Let's see if we can get a picture of it right quick, if it'll come up.
Yeah, I haven't been out here yet. But this lot on the corner looks vacant.
We're paying $25,000 for this double wide mobile home on about an acre.
Now, see, one thing you've got to watch out for is I always look at the dates on these pictures from Google, from Bing, from wherever. This is a picture from 2014. So when I go out there, I look at these pictures ahead of time. I look at the property details ahead of time to know what the seller has told Michael or what the seller has told Larry. So I can pick up on things that might be different from what I'm actually seeing when I go out there.
Right. And the other thing, I mean, look at this. This is small town USA, right?
This one is definitely.
You might even say it's rural. However, a lot of people say, wow, Larry, you know, how are you going to sell this when there's, 500 people in town? Well, how many buyers do you need? You only need one buyer. That's it. And we market, man, in the day trading program, we've got a whole marketing list of everything we do to market our properties.
For buyers, yeah.
For buyers, yeah. And we market every property in all those different ways. And we've got a VA in the Philippines, Jan, and she does all that. We don't do it. She does that, right? And we just found we didn't train her. We found somebody that already knew marketing and knew, Facebook, Craigslist, and all these other places that we post our properties. We don't just post our properties on Facebook. We have multiple places and strategies and ways that we market our properties on Facebook, right? It's not just, run an ad, in which, by the way, it's all free. We don't pay for any ads to market any of our properties, okay? All right, let's see here. Let's go back. I'm not going to go through the ones that are on hold because we do have a bunch of them that are on hold. Ricky Hoyle, you know anything about this one?
Yeah, this is one I went out to yesterday. So we haven't even had a property meeting on this one yet. We haven't looked at the pictures.
Let's talk about this. I like this. This is a brand new
deal.
This is the one that you called me while you were there?
Yes, this is a gas station. You'll see from the map here, there's a single wide trailer on the back of this lot, and then this is a gas station up here on the corner, a former gas station. The seller ran it for 23 years, and the station itself caught fire and burned down. So the lot is still there. It has, access points off both of the streets. It's It looks better than this picture right here. It's all cleaned off now. Like you see the dumpsters that are there.
There's our mobile home right there.
Yep, there's our mobile home. And you see all of this is cleaned off now. This brickwork and everything that was still over here, all of that's gone. So you can see where there was a basement in the bottom of the store. All of that's cleaned out now. So it's really a clean slate. It's zone commercial. So anybody could come in, they could redo, put another gas station here. They could put a mechanics repair shop here.
Car lot.
Dollar General.
Yeah,
I mean,
I thought it might be a good Dollar General. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a good looking area. It looks better than this picture right here.
Kay wants info on the property at Lake Lure. If you go to investorsrehab.com and
it's not listed.
Get on our buyers list,
yeah,
then you'll get notification whenever it becomes available.
You will.
So this deal, let me tell you about this deal, okay? I mean,
why does this keep going back to the photos for?
This deal right here, this property has commercial value, but it can take a long time to sell a commercial property, okay? I tell people it could take 2, 3, 4, 5 years to sell a commercial property, okay?
No, Dave, we're not going to get an environmental assessment on the commercial property. That would be up to the buyer.
And yeah, but we are going to have a few realtors go out and take a look at it and let us know if there's any issues or anything we need to know, like the tanks that are there, the gas tanks and that sort of thing.
Right.
But this property here, I negotiated this deal with, right here's my offer history, $50,000 seller financing, right? And let's see my notes.
And I got it signed. I got the contract signed yesterday with him while I was out there. We have some sellers that want to do that. They want for me to either they don't have an email address where we could send it and I can get the evaluation scheduled before, priority mail or regular mail would get there. So I'll just take them with me. And then, like I said earlier, some sellers want me to bring it with me and they'll sign it in person.
So I tried to zoom that in. I hope you guys could see it. But I negotiated this deal. It's got 3.5 acres, was a convenience store. It also has a mobile home bringing in $400 a month, right? So, and it used to be $450, but he even lowered the rent for him because he, was trying to help him out. So the tenant's been there 15 years and he hasn't increased the rent. 15 years and he has not increased the rent. What does that tell you? So he's selling it to us for $50,000. No money down, right?
Yep.
And $302 a month for 20 years.
And the tenants want to stay. They said that yesterday when I was out there, and all they knew was that I was there to do an eval on a property in his portfolio, right? That's what we told them. And they just wanted to make sure that they weren't going to have to leave. They asked him while I was there, this doesn't, none of this means we're going to have to move out, does it? We're going to stay, right? We want to stay. And so, I mean, they're in. And so the tenant money, the rent from the single wide is going to pay the seller finance payment.
Right. And what we talked about, Candace and I talked about yesterday, is once she gets everything back and we huddle about this property, let's have a few commercial agents go by and look at it and have them tell us what is that lot worth, the commercial lot on the highway, and what is it worth, and how long will it take to sell it, and if it's a really good value, like 150 or something, or 200, I don't know, then we'll just keep it and let the tenant make the payments until we find the right buyer and they come along and pay us for it, and then we'll pay off our seller financing. But otherwise, we're just going to wholesale it to somebody else and let them collect the rent and let them market the commercial property and make the big score on it, right? Or maybe there's somebody that wants to put a business in. Maybe they want to go in there and put some kind of business in, and maybe even like do, what is it, not yard sale, but flea market kind of thing.
Oh, yeah,
because it's 3.5 acres. You wouldn't have to probably do anything to it, just level everything off and set up for a flea market, right? Because there's plenty of other land around there with the 3.5 acres. So anyway, I want you guys to think out of the box, okay? I
That's
want you to
huge.
think out of the box, not just every little house is in a neighborhood and is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, a fix and flip. You got to think out of the box because not every deal is a typical kind of deal. If you notice, most of my deals are not typical kind of deals. Right, Candace?
That's right. But that is part of what makes it fun, because we get a property in and they're like, what can we do with this? I was out there yesterday with the seller and he's standing beside me and he's like, what are you going to do with this? And I said, what am I going to do with this? And we just looked around, and I mean, he was standing there giving me ideas too. Well, you could do this. You could take this off over here. You could add a parking lot over here. I mean, he's standing there daydreaming with me as well as to what it could be. And that's always fun. And it's, I would say it's very important, like Larry said, for y'all to think out of the box, because there is a buyer for every property.
This is one that you just went out and looked at yesterday, right?
Yes.
192 Carolina.
Yep.
I haven't even seen the pictures of it.
This is mine.
So we're gonna. Oh, this is the deal that you got under contract.
Yep.
So we're buying it for $22,500, right?
Yep. It's tenant occupied.
Has a tenant in it. Paying, how much is the tenant paying?
I can't remember.
Oh, I remember looking at this deal and going, this is a solid deal.
This is not mine.
It's not?
No.
I think it is.
I don't think so. Anyway, so this one is actually 2 lots. Go back to that map. The tenant that was in this is not there anymore. It's 2 lots.
It's a double wide lot.
It's this lot and this lot right here. And this people back here
are both of them on the contract.
Have a fence. I put the other parcel number on the contract while we were out there.
And he initialed it?
Yeah.
Good.
So
did you hear that? Think about that.
The contract, usually this gets caught right before I go out. It should have been on the contract when I got there, but it wasn't. So what I did was pulled up, and I have an app called Landglide. If you guys don't have it, we don't get anything off of that, but you need it. It's great. And I pulled it up, and I was able to pull the parcel number for the second lot and put it on the contract, because we are buying both of these lots. And I added it onto the contract while I was out there and just had the seller initial beside me on it. The app is called Landglide, Landglid.
Correct, Carolyn.
Phenomenal. Yeah, Carolyn, that's right. And I don't know how much it is a month or how much it is a year anymore. I just pay it because I use it every day.
It's $10 a month or $100 for a year.
There you go. But it's great. So this house, this picture's from 2013, so it doesn't look like this exactly right now. The tenant that is in there has been in there since she's been in there for 18 years, and
we're paying $22,500 for this.
Yeah, she just recently.
Yeah, that's right. It's not yours because you're paying $23,000.
I'm paying $23,500 for mine, but this one, the tenant had a heart attack. And she had been there for 18 years, but she had a heart attack, passed away. Her daughter's having to clean out all of her stuff. But yeah, this is it's this, and then that lot where the pool is. The pool's not there anymore. It's been torn down, and there's a fence back here now along the back side of the property. That's like the neighbors. Mm-hmm. Well, it's actually up on this ridge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Good.
Up there where the benches are.
Yep. And this is within walking distance to little downtown Spindale. You go to that stop sign right there, take a right, close to walking trails and things like that. This will be a good little deal.
How many? Let me close this. I wonder how many.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is a 3-2. Well,
that's exactly what I was going to look. It is a 3-2.
Here's the thing with the 2, right? So sometimes Zillow gets confused. Sometimes sellers get confused or whatnot. So it is 3 bedrooms. The 2 bathrooms, both bathrooms have a toilet, and both bathrooms have like a shower tub option. But only one bathroom has a sink. Now, what? I know, but the one bathroom that has the stand-up shower stall and the toilet, you could put a utility sink in the laundry room because it's an extension of the laundry room. Yeah, so you go through the laundry room to get to it.
That's totally acceptable.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of rental properties that we buy that have what's called functional obsolescence. Mm-hmm. In other words, you might have to walk through one bedroom to get to another bedroom. Or We've got 2 properties, I believe, right now where you have the only way you can get to the 1 bathroom in the house is to go through a bedroom.
Yeah.
Right.
And this one, you don't have to you don't have to do that, but that 1 bathroom is a little bit weird, but it would be super easy to put in a utility sink in the laundry room area because it's right outside the door of the bathroom. So it's not that big of a deal.
All right, let's see what else we got. We got this one right here that we own. Let's look at it.
This is the firehouse.
The firehouse.
Now, we told you guys one of the ways we market our properties is to put out signs. I put 26 signs out for this house yesterday.
Let me show them, by the way. Let me see if I can go. Oh, that they're not going to see this screen. They're not going to see it if I do that, I don't think. Do you guys still see my screen? Do you see Simple Crew?
Simple Crew is the app we use for people that are putting signs out for our properties.
Candace put all these signs out yesterday.
So what we have them do is when we put signs out, it geotags them when you take a picture of it inside the app. There's nothing to upload. You just open the app and add a picture, and it'll take tag it in the campaign, and it'll also geotag it and give you a map satellite of everywhere the signs are. We
can track who put out the signs, when they put them out. If you notice here, look at the top right corner. It says April 22nd at 3:46 p.m. That's when that sign was put out. April 22nd at 3:42. Right? So 4 minutes apart. 3:38 p.m. yesterday.
Now, I know this says 26 signs, but I already know one of them's been pulled up.
And that's the way I can click on the map right here and see all the signs, zoom in and tell exactly where they are on the map. There's one of our signs right there. Right? So this is a great little app. It is $50 a month, but we use this app a lot.
Yep. We've got 3 properties that need signs put out right now.
I always archive. You can see my archive campaigns. I archive campaigns, you know, when we're done putting signs out. So these are all of our campaigns, but I just keep the current ones in here to keep, you know, like we had somebody put out signs first of the week, and I already archived those as well. But
Simple Crew. Simple Crew is the name of that app.
Simple Crew. Yes.
And those 3 properties are ready to have signs put out now, so those will be going out. So this is the firehouse, and
yep, this is the firehouse. This
picture is 2009, so it don't look like this right now.
Yeah, it has some fire damage over on this right hand side.
The attic, the house was struck by lightning and the attic caught on fire. Now, the fire department got there and they got it out before the fire had consumed the house itself. So the ceilings, even, you can see it had a drop ceiling in it. I'm guessing for insulation. But the drop ceiling is down on the floor, but most of the damage on the walls and things like that is just from the fire department.
That's right.
The fire itself stayed in the attic.
The firefighters will tear up a house. But I mean, I'm not blaming them because they want to make sure the fire's out.
Yeah, they gotta make sure it's safe. But that's exactly where most of the damage is from, is the ceiling being pulled down to make sure there wasn't any, more fire or whatever. But
so we paid $5,000 for this house.
Yep.
And while we were at the house, this is another one. Candace and I were out there last week, and because every once in a while we'll go out and do this together, right? And so this is another one that we were out, and while Candace was inside taking pictures, a guy pulled up from right around there, and he was on a little 4-wheeler, and he pulled up, and you guys gonna buy this house, or did you guys buy this house? And I said, yes, we did. Right now, we haven't closed on it yet.
At that point, we hadn't.
At that point, we hadn't closed on it, right? So he was asking all kind of questions, and so he said, well, I might be interested in it. He said, this was it his aunt's house or his grandmother's house? Uncle's house?
Yeah, he's the cousin of the seller.
So he is a cousin of our seller, and he said, wow, I said, because I asked him, I said, now why didn't you buy it? Right? He said, well, I didn't know he was going to sell it because our seller lives out of state. So he said, well, I didn't know he was going to sell it, or I would have. So after we talked a little bit more, and I said, well, let me get your information. When we decide what we're going to do with it, we'll let you know. So we came back to the office and we said, can we close this tomorrow? Because we wanted to make sure that we could close it right away, right? So that way he didn't call his cousin and his cousin say, oh, I already, I got it under contract. Well, I'll pay you more, right? So we did call the guy back after we closed, but he's not interested in buying the property. But we're listing it for $19,900 right now, and you saw all the signs. We may have to sell it for $15,000. I don't know, because it has some fire damage. We've got our guy, Rocky, going out to clean it out. There's a couple of nice pieces of furniture in there, but he's going to have to clean it all out. And there is some antiques in there, a nice armoire. Mm-hmm. And he's going to clean it all out. Hopefully he won't charge us anything because he gets to keep the stuff, mm-hmm. right? And then it'll be cleaned out for a potential buyer to help the sellability of the house.
Right.
So, and we only paid $5,000 for this house. You can see my offer down here where I offered $5,000 for it, and it was accepted in our podio, right? And you can see Candace's notes right here while we were at the house. The nephew came over.
My notes aren't in from where I went out yesterday and put signs out and everything. Well, they might be at deal pipeline level because this is property level.
Yeah, maybe so. All right, so we have a few closings coming up this week, so I think that's the ones that we're going to talk about next because we've gone through all the ones that are in the pipeline.
Well, mine from yesterday mine's not in the pipeline. Oh, it's 703.
Here's my guy calling me right now because I just sent him out to that house. Which one?
703. I don't know why it's in there twice, but.
So this is another one you went out and looked at yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
We're buying it for $23,500. Oh, that's your deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
it's rented.
And how much is it rented for?
I can't remember.
Candace's deal right here that she did all of it over the phone herself. And by the way, guys, we buy all these over the phone. Those of you that have the real estate day trading mastery, you have all the scripts and everything. We have a one call close script.
The one page offer to purchase, all that stuff's in there. This is that model. This whole pipeline was filled with that model. But like somebody said a while ago, the exit strategy on these properties, depending on what it is you want to do, could be different. Because they're so cheap, you could do the Filthy Riches model with them. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's
it's
true.
Just not what we're working right now.
That's true.
But they do fit that.
That's true. So this is our little house. It's for $23,500.
Yep, it's 2-1, has a partial basement, concrete floor. That's where the laundry room.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's where the laundry room is, like where the laundry is, where the water heater is.
Uh-huh. Okay.
All that good stuff.
Nice. Here's the Zillow link for the property. It's not going to really show us very much. Looks like it's right at 900 square feet. A 2-1 with a partial basement.
Yeah, I don't think the basement's not counted into the square
So we haven't even huddled about this. She just took the pictures, right?
That's right. So then the rest of them on the pipeline should be ones that we're closing, that we have under contract to close on Friday.
Okay. We always try to close on Friday. This is a very, very important tip, guys. Anytime Lorraine is talking to a buyer, she tells them, now you need to be able to close on Friday. I don't care if it's Thursday. You need to be able to close on Friday, right? Now, most of the time, if it's on Thursday, if it's on Wednesday or Thursday, it's going to be the following Friday. But she's always trying to get them to close on Friday, right? Always trying to get them to close on Friday, okay? So let's look at the next one here. And these are ones that we have sold already that are closing on Friday, which we have, well, Cliffside, we just showed you.
Street.
Bell Street. This is one over in Chester. It's a little brick house that we picked up for what, 26?
Yep.
We picked it up for $26,000. What are we selling it for?
I'm not sure.
Let's see. I
26,
can tell you in
34,
just a
9.
minute.
It's either 34 or 39.9.
Where do you see Chester here? Right here. 39.9. We sold it for 39.9 and we paid 26 for it.
Closing tomorrow.
Okay. It's closing tomorrow. All right. So let's get back over here. Where am I on this one? Yeah, well, you saw the pictures over there a minute ago, but this is a neat little house. It's a little brick ranch house. Needs some work.
Just a little. It doesn't need much at all. I mean, people can move right in. It's rent ready. It's owner occupant ready. It just needs a little bit of updating in the kitchen area, and that's pretty much it. The windows could be done. Personal preference if anybody wanted to do that or not, but it's rent ready right now or owner occupant ready. You okay?
Yeah.
What's happening here? So this is the Google Street View. The map, where's the?
Rocky says, call me real quick.
Let's see. This was a 3-1. And it was so funny because this house had hand sanitizer pump things on every entrance. Like when you were coming into the house, it had hand sanitizer pumps. And this was, obviously they were installed before COVID, but I thought it was pretty funny that they were all still up.
That's kind of funny. All right, let's see what else we got here.
The other one under contract to sell.
Yeah, we got like 3 or 4 of them under contract to sell.
Now, these 3, like Bell Street, we didn't put signs out for Bell Street. We sold it to our existing buyers list. Tom Street that you guys are going to see, we sold it to our existing buyers list. That was a repeat buyer on that one. And Beam Court, Beam may have been sold by signs. I can't remember where the buyer came from on this one, but it's closing tomorrow. 200 Beam, I can't remember what we paid for it either.
So Rocky just texted me, my guy that cleans out houses, the fire damage house where the firemen pulled down some of the sheetrock, pulled down some of the porch, and I mean just really trashed the house. Rocky just texted me and he said, there's enough here for me to make money on. I'll just charge you $150 to clean out the whole house.
It's a good, that's, I mean, I'm good paying him $150 because I need all of that stuff off the floor. And they'll have it done in 2 days or so.
What he typically does when he goes to look at a job for us, he's got his guys with him. So whenever he gets there, you know, he lets me know how much it is. And then he's like, okay, well, we'll have it done this afternoon or have it done tomorrow.
And he leaves the guys.
Yeah.
He'll leave the guys there working on it, and he'll work with them, or he'll go and do another inspection or whatever and come back. But they start working on it right then. Everybody's asking why Friday, why you have Lorraine choose Friday.
Because I love Fridays. It's a great, Friday is a glorious day to get paid on.
I would prefer that we close on either a Wednesday or a Thursday just to make sure everything could get funded in the same week. Because sometimes with buyers and sellers, docs getting back to the attorney so they can do the recording and do the funding may take until the Monday when we do it on a Friday. But I don't know that Fridays are really all that important.
I like the whole thing of, you know, it's like playing a game. What can we close by Friday? What can we close by Friday? We got to get some closes by Friday.
That's where it came from. So it's really not important.
Well, it's really not important, but I like playing the game.
But
now
you could keep in mind too, just what I said about the recording and the funding. The earlier you can get your closings in the day, the more likely you are to be able to get them recorded and funded the same day. The earlier you can get them done in the week, whether it could be on a Wednesday or a Thursday, then you have that time for the attorney to receive those wet signatures back on the buyer and the seller docs, so they can get everything recorded and funded within that week, and you don't have to stretch it over a weekend.
Right, that's a good point. This
From
is
a
house,
logistical standpoint,
this is
that's
a house
my role.
we're paying $12,000 for it.
He wanted 15.
Yeah, we're paying 12 for it. I don't know what we
12.
have it sold for, but here's the house, right? That's as close as I'm going to get to the end of the street.
29.9, I believe. You have to go to Investors Rehab, but
Oh,
it's either 24
that
or
says
29.9.
202. Maybe it's,
No, that's the house.
well, it has 202 on the sign.
Maybe this is our house.
I don't know. Maybe. Did you see 201 anywhere?
No,
Our house is somewhere right there.
it's that one. It was that one.
Oh, this says 200 Bean. But this says 202.
I think the addresses on this are
See, that
wrong.
says 202.
Yeah, I think it's
Maybe
this one back here.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I think it's go to the right. I think it's this one right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe so. But anyway, we've got it sold, and it's also closing Friday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And I think it's 29.9.
Good. Do we accept co-wholesaling? It's extremely rare that people will co-wholesale. What we don't want you to do is market our properties. We've had some people that would just see our stuff on our website and they would bump up the price $5,000 or $10,000 and start marketing our properties. And then people started telling us, well, you're selling it for 20. Why is somebody over here selling it for 30?
But they didn't even tell us they were doing that.
Yeah, they didn't even tell us.
That's shady. If y'all were doing that, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
To anybody, not us.
But if you have buyers, if you have a buyer's list and you can send it to them privately, like a text message or an email, that's great. How much do we pay people who sell our properties? It's not a lot. It's like 5% or something.
5% right? Of net. Yeah,
5% of what we make.
Sale close.
So it could be $500 to $1,000 typically, but not a whole lot. But we market our own. We market our own.
We answered the why close on Friday thing early. It's just a personal preference of Larry. It's not something that's super needed.
Right. So, all right, let's see. This house. How much did you say we're selling it for?
I think it's 24 or 29.9. It's either 24.9 or 29.9.
Oh, okay.
Where's the range?
It should be down here in the sell notes. Oh, I'm in properties.
Yeah, it won't be in here.
We're not making we're selling it for $19.9. And we're not making a lot.
I think we were trying to sell it for $24.9 and ended up having to go to $19.9.
We're making $8,000 on it. Yeah. Not a lot of money, but they all add up, right?
And it's not that big of a deal. I know some people are saying, well, I can make $40,000 on one. Yeah, if you flip it, like fix and flip it, but we're not touching these. The most that we do is send Rocky out to go clean them out.
That's right.
We don't hold them. You don't have to hold on to them for a long time. You're not tied to a buyer. You're not tied to a seller. You're not doing any fix.
This is one right here.
This is Tom's. We paid $20 for this.
Yeah. Do you know what we're selling it for?
$39. No, I don't. $34.9. I do.
Okay.
This is a little house. I love this little house. It's on the corner lot. Great little property. It has a garage in the back that's actually doubles as a workshop. Has cabinets down one side. Has power and concrete floor. That little shop right there.
We're paying $20 for this. Can you believe that?
$20 for this.
$20,000 for that house.
And it does. I know that picture's from 2012, but this house looks exactly like that right now. It looks exactly like that right now.
Nice.
It is a good little property.
All right, let's see here. Let's see. We're going to go over. There's no point in going over the on-hold ones because we're just waiting on stuff like titles to be cleared or people to let us in the house to inspect it or to do the eval or something like that. Right?
Or a tenant that needs to be, we've got one that needs to be evicted and they can't evict right now. So, yeah, right. Basic stuff like that.
Do we have buyers in Albany, Georgia? I don't know if we have. I'm sure we do have some buyers on our list from Albany because we have sold houses in Albany, Georgia. Not in the last year, but a couple of years ago, we sold 3 or 4 houses in Albany.
HUD properties, yeah. We were doing HUD. Yeah, we were doing HUD in Georgia that time.
All right, so this is Polkville. This is the one that while Candace and I were out at the house.
It's another one.
Oh, another one, yeah.
Yeah.
While Candace and I were actually at the house, that our buyer pulls up. We didn't know it was going to be our buyer, but it is our buyer, right? We're paying $35 for this house, which it needs a lot of work inside, but our buyer owns all this that you can see in behind it, right? All this that you can see in behind it. There's a, she's making a campground back here, all this acreage. There's like 10 or 15 acres back here. And, you know, she has no road frontage, but here's her road frontage now, right? So she's buying our property. So, and she's planning on fixing it up and living in it right in front of her campground.
And it's not a duplex. I know it kind of looks like a duplex from the front, but it's not. The door on the left goes into the living room. The door on the right was a separate bedroom entrance.
Right.
So it's not a duplex, but it is, that door on the right goes into a bedroom.
Don Williams. So all these are being sold as is for cash and no mortgage, correct?
That's right.
The only time there's a mortgage involved is if we have negotiated seller financing and then we just sell it and get the down payment, and then our buyer, right, and our buyer is making payments to our seller.
Yep.
Okay, that's it. That's it. So I saw 3 or 4 questions in here about real estate day trading mastery.
Where do I go
if you don't have that, let's see. I didn't spell that right. Real.
Hey,
.com
yeah,
/. If you go to realestateDayTrading.com /VIP, realestateDayTrading.com /VIP, it'll tell you everything that's included, right? And we have a 24-month, $24,000 guarantee. You know, if all you do is just give it a try. If you don't make 24 grand in the next 2 years, you know, it's not for you. You know, all we want you to do is just go through the action plan, and it's step by step. But here's a listing of everything that you get right here, right? I'm going to put this link just to make it easy for you guys.
If they let them know too, Dean's here, they can call. Dean and Ron are available for calls if they have questions and call.
Yeah, you can also call this number right here in the top right corner, the 888-212-6567. You could call that number and talk to Dean. He's out there right now. 212-6567.
Mm-hmm.
So you could call that number and talk to Dean or Ron, and they'll answer your questions. But this tells you everything that you're going to get, everything that's included, and all that stuff.
And that whole pipeline we went over earlier was built on this model. We use the stuff that's in this program every day. That's how we market for buyers and for sellers. That's how we locate the properties, how we analyze them, how we negotiate them. Everything that we went through today is in that. And I hope we were able to share enough information with you guys to where you'll think outside of the box and see the opportunities that are available around you with the current market. You just got to adjust a few things, right? You don't have to give up completely. You don't have to stop business completely or anything like that. You just need to make a few tweaks, a few adjustments to accommodate for what's happening in the market, and you'll still be able to make money.
There you have it. That's good. That's good. Also wanted to, I kind of zoomed in on this a little bit. There's 8 ways in the Real Estate Day Trading Mastery. I about forgot about that. There's 8 ways you can get it for free. So once you do get the training and you get all the bonuses and everything, there's 8 ways you can get it for free by, either bird dog a house for us, become one of our private money lenders for like one of our IRA type accounts, the small accounts, buy a wholesale house from us, sell a wholesale house to us, refer 3 customers, not on this webinar, close 3 loans with us using our private money, join our partner program, which is basically high-level mentoring one-on-one, where you come and spend some time with me in the office, and day trade a property with a testimonial. And those are 8 ways you can get your course fee refunded, right? Where can you get some info on our private money? CarolinaInvestorLoans.com. But it's only in the Carolinas. Only in the Carolinas, right?
In the Carolinas. Only in the Carolinas.
I have trouble talking and typing something different. I want to say what I'm typing, right? Who are you sending out 6,000 letters a week? We send postcards, yep. Which, by the way, all of our postcards are in the training. Mm-hmm. So you get copies of our bandit signs, our postcards, our marketing, our ad samples, our, whether it be Facebook or Craigslist or whatever, we show you our ad samples, everything that we use in our business every single day. You know, if you have other questions, you can call and talk to Ron or Dean. They'll answer your questions. And, you know, I tell you what, I'm going to do something that I haven't really done before in the past.
Oh, no.
But if you sign up from this webinar, okay? If you sign up from this webinar and you either tell Ron or Dean or whatever, if you sign up from this webinar, I will personally get on the phone with you and spend some time with you to find out where you are, where you want to be, your likes, your dislikes, your strengths, your weaknesses, your assets, your liabilities. And I'll do that with you one-on-one over the phone. I'm not going to spend 3 hours with you, but I'll spend some time on the phone with you, helping you get up and look, she's taking notes of what Larry's promising.
I am. LG promise, right? I had to write it down. So.
And then what I'll do, in addition to that, I will assign you with Ron or Dean, and I'll have them follow up with you every 2 weeks to check in on you. How are you doing? What's going on? What are you having trouble with? That sort of thing, okay? I will have them follow up with you every 2 weeks to check on you and see how things are going to help you get this thing up and running. So go to the link right there, or realestateDayTrading.com/VIP and place your risk-free order, or call 888-212-6567. And there's
Talk
a whole list of
Dean
everything.
West or Ron Devine. Yes, Connie, that is really his last name, and then Dean West in the office. So
Ron Devine.
Yep.
Yep, that's it. So there you have it. Guys, I hope you really, yes, Dean is awesome, Samuel. He is. He's been with us for years. So is Ron. So I really appreciate you guys watching. I hope you got a lot out of this today. I hope you really got a lot out of it. I hope it was very informative. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that. Any parting words, Candace?
I don't think so. I think we pretty much covered everything we could. Hopefully we were able to go in depth enough to give you guys some action items to go out and make some money with some things, and more importantly, help people out of situations that they need to get out of. That's what we try to do every day. Exactly. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and let us know how it goes. Let us know if you go out there and do some of these deals. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call Ron or Dean. And I got that promise written down, so. Both of those promises. I'm going to have Ron and Dean call them every 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and then Larry will get on the phone with them. I got it written down. Sounds good. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And go out there and get her done. Bye, guys. Bye.